Last week wasn't very technical. Remember, we just talked a lot about the things that are the tools and everything. This week it's more technical. So don't worry, don't stress out. There was a question at the beginning of the class about whether or not the videos would be online still. And as far as Sister Nacken and I know, they will be on for quite some time. So you can always go back and look, and if you missed anything, you can go back, pause, rewind, all those different things. So don't worry. As we go through things today, if you start feeling a little bit, the stress level starts rising, just take a breath and just sit and watch if you want. You don't have to keep up if you don't feel like you can, or if you want to, just go ahead and watch. But today is definitely one of those days that we're just going to kick things up a notch. So if you felt like you're still hanging on to that notch and we kick it up, it's okay. Just go there with us. Hang on with both hands. It's okay. But hopefully today will be one where you learn new techniques that you can practice, and you aren't expected to learn it all in one day. Remember that too, okay? Just soak it in and enjoy and have fun. And like always, write down your questions. They will probably be more technical questions, and I'm happy to help with anything that you need afterwards. Or again, those of you that email me, I love it. Just keep emailing me, ask good questions. So today we're going to talk a lot about different apps that you can use on your phone. Next week we're talking about video as well, and I was telling Sister Nacken that it's also going to be about apps. Really, whatever you can do on your device or your phone, tablet. There really are apps for just about everything. And you can do so much with what is in your hand that I just want to teach you some of the things. So today we're going to be talking about, remember this is advanced, but don't freak out. We're going to talk about different filters, collages, words, and I'm going to give you some design tips and tricks, just some fun things that add a little something. But the whole reason, remember, we're not just making beautiful images just for fun. We are making beautiful images to uplift and inspire and help people learn more about Christ. And this time of year is especially exciting because we've got LDS Conf, hashtag LDS Conf coming up, right? Conference. And the church's Easter initiative will be launching. The video will come out this Saturday, March 28th, and the hashtag is Because He Lives. And that one, let's make it trend. Let's just flood the earth with all of this and with your beautiful images. So that's what we're going to learn today. So this is something that, you know how I always like to start out with the why, the purpose, and the focus on what we're really doing. So this is from Elder Nelson, and he says, actually, do you know what? Hold on. Oh, okay, there we go. We need more of the distinctive, influential voices and faith of women. We need them to learn the doctrine and to understand what we believe so that they can bear testimonies about the truth of all things. That's what we're doing with our images. That's what we're trying to do with technology. Whether it's an email to family, whether it's a blog post that could be just for your ward, whether it can be a young woman Instagram account, whatever it is, whatever that we're feeling inspired to use technology for, this is what we're doing. We are those women, and we need, Heavenly Father needs our voices and our faith. And I'm not excluding you, brother. We need your voices as well. But this was from Elder Nelson. I loved it. And as President Monson says, if you want to give light to others, you have to glow yourself. So I know that all of you glow. I know that all of you have the gospel and the gospel light and the truth inside of you. And now we're just empowering you to learn ways to share that light. So this is a quote from, I'm trying to remember who this is from. Oh, actually, this is just little words from a bunch of different people that I saw. But I love this, and I put this all together. As women, we can be a light to others. The light of truth can glow within us, and we can share that light via technology. Now, hopefully, week 11, you're not scared anymore. You're learning that little by little, you can use your voice with technology, and you can learn and share, and it's nothing to be scared about, right? The thing is, the thing that I want you to focus on the most is just how to share your light, because you have a light, and the world needs to hear it. So because it's Easter, all of our images and everything that we do today are all going to be focused on Christ and celebrating this time of year. So hopefully, I always say this every week, but I invite the Holy Ghost to be here with us. I know that He is the ultimate teacher, and He can tell you what you can be doing to share your light, especially this time of year. We do not, every single one in this room, none of us should be closed mouth during this time. You are learning social media. You are learning technology. You are learning, you have the tools at your hand. Just one thing that you share, that you spread out there. That's all I would love for you to do, is to just share your light with at least one person. And because of the way technology is, it might be shared with somebody else, and then somebody else might share it, and it just keeps going and filling the earth with light. Okay, so now let's talk about the tools that you have to share your light. Now, we're going to talk about photos and filters today. Now that right there is a photo that I got off of Media Library, LDS Media Library, that we know and love, that we've used, right? And then I put it through a filter app called Waterlog that takes a photo and just makes it right into a watercolor. So suddenly you take a beautiful picture that we love and that we're going to do things with, but now you make it into a watercolor, and that just is something that's fun. And really, all it is a tap. I mean, it's quite easy. Anybody can do it. I promise you can do it. So we're going to talk about photos and filters, and different filters that you can put on your photos to make them look even more uplifting and inspiring. We're going to talk about photos and collages, and how to put little photos. There are different collage apps, and I've tried to cover it Android and iPhone so that no one is missing the boat, because I know it's so hard when you are like, but I want that one. I'm sorry, Waterlog, that one is only iPhone, but I did find another one, and it's in the handout. It's called Photo, no, I can't remember what it's called. Photo Painter, yes, for Androids, and that one is pretty comparable. The next one is we're going to talk about photos and words. And do you see how that word is just behind that little egg? We're going to learn how to do something like that. A little advanced, I know, but you can do it. You can do it. And then we're going to talk about design tips and tricks. And just with the tools at your fingertips, the different things that you can do to add. This is a photo that I got on, again, LDS Media Library. I didn't use anything that you couldn't have access to, okay? But then I took a picture of my scriptures of John and the part where he appears to Mary after he's been resurrected, and I used an app to put it on top of the sunset, and then later on I'll show you I put a scripture to go with it. So little tips and tricks of things that you have access to that you can use to fill the earth with light. So like I said, Easter is here, and it's time to celebrate Christ. And with the church's initiative, Claudia, Sister Hill, shared this with us, I think, a couple weeks ago when the ensign first came out, the March one. Wasn't it March? I think it was March. And Elder Nelson's, I can't remember the name of the article. Does anybody remember the name of the article? It's really good. Go and look for it. It's in March. But he talks about March 28th when the video will come out. Do you remember the one last year that we watched? It had the light bulb and it talked about, I love that one, and I've heard that this one is just as powerful.
It's out.
Oh, it is out.
We saw it last night.
Oh, last night. See, that's so exciting.
The missionary showed it to us.
Yay! Okay, go and look. I'm so excited. So it's on Mormon.org/Easter is where it's going to be housed. And the hashtag that we can all be using when we tweet or post on Instagram or post on Facebook, whatever we're choosing to do, is hashtag because he lives. Those three words right there to me are powerful, and to just flood the earth with that, so many miracles and joy and overcoming trials can happen because he lives. Oh, I love it. And I'm not going to cry, I promise. Okay, so now I'm going to show you just some examples of things that I've done with the different filters, with the different, am I out of?
No, I'll get it. You
All
go.
Right. Coupled with scriptures, or this one right here is from the Living Christ. Be thinking of things that are in your heart that you're going to want to share via photos with the people in your circle of influence, okay? This is part of the Living Christ that I absolutely love. And I took a photo of the clouds from LDS Media Library, ran it through an app called RD Magic that we'll talk about a little bit later, and added just a little bit of color and stuff. Then I put that sun right there in Rana Designs and erased it, part of it, so it's peeking out of the clouds in RD Magic. I know, no brain blowing yet, Cam, just letting you know. These are the things we're going to learn today, okay? And then added text on it. And his was a great vicarious gift in behalf of all who would ever live upon the earth, the living Christ. And then under that, because he lives. So this is something that I could shoot off to my family via email. I could text it to somebody. I could add my testimony to it on Facebook. I could tag my young women on Instagram. Whatever I felt that I wanted to do, this is an image that could be shared. And then if you saw this, you could repost it, regram it, retweet it, whatever you choose, repin it, whatever you choose. So be looking for that hashtag. You can find already pre-made things that people are doing when you go on that hashtag, whatever, on Instagram or whatever social media platform you're looking. Okay, this is the one that I was telling you about, that was the picture of the sunset with the scripture in the background. And then one of my favorites I love is "He is not here, but is risen," Luke 14:6. So I added the text and the little circle in Rana Designs, and then added the hashtag. So those are probably, let's see, you get the photo, you go into the app and put the scripture on it. Probably 5 steps right there. 5 steps. You can do that, right? You can do that. Okay, this is another one where that waterlog app that changes it into a watercolor painting. This is a picture that you can find under LDS Media Library under Easter. And actually, no, it was under spring, I think. This one was under spring. And cute little Easter eggs, and I just loved it, little robin eggs. But then in an app, I was able to put "He is risen, he is risen," tell it out with joyful voice. Anybody recognize that? What's that from? It's from a song, right? So that, too, can also be part of your testimony. Lyrics from our hymns during this time. And then again, at the very bottom, typing in "because he lives." Now, this is a collage. This is one of my favorite apps. It's called Project Life. And it is an app that is more than, it's more than a collage. It's definitely more, it's more expensive, and again, you get what you pay for. But this one is really fun because you can actually print out 12 by 12. I mean, the resolution of this one is phenomenal. And it's super easy to use. All I did, and I'll show you a little bit later as we do the live stuff, just tapping on those little squares and then grabbing from your camera roll different images that I used. Some already had, I had created the image with words, but then afterwards I saved it and then added the butterfly and added the bird in Rana Designs. There are just so many different things that you can do. And you could make this into a card, you could print this out and think of visiting teaching messages, think of neighbor gifts, I mean, things like that. There are ways that you can be bearing your testimony and using technology this time of year with your devices.
What's that called?
Project Life. And all these apps that I'm mentioning that we'll go through, they're all in your handout. And hopefully, did you see they're out there? I don't know if they're all gone, but you can also print it out. But I've got the list of all my favorites that we'll be talking about today. And some of them I won't even talk about. I just wanted to let you know because they're just so awesome. Okay? Really fun things.
It's only 99 cents.
Project Life?
Yeah.
Okay. Then there are
Upgrades?
add-ins, yeah.
Okay.
And that's,
Where
you really do want them. I mean, that's the part. It's like, okay, you got the app, and then you say, oh, but look at that. I could get this and this. And yeah, so it just depends on what you want. There are also free ones, and we'll talk about those as well. So this is just a collage that I wanted to show you. Just adding different photos and different filters and stuff, just creating a little artistic creation that you could share with others. Okay, this is another one. I seriously, I had so much fun with this waterlog app. It's just, to me, just watercolors just bring out the beauty, and I loved it. This was a picture of blossoms on Media Library, and "He lives, all glory to his name." Anyone recognize that? Another hymn as well. And then hashtagging it because he lives. So you can actually put the hashtag on your image, but remember that it's not going to become a live link until when you're posting it, you put that hashtag sign and then those words together, and that's when you're going to be flooding the earth, and then we'll have just lots of share goodness things going on. Okay, and here is one that death is conquered, man is free, Christ has won the victory. Another hymn. After I used a hymn, I was like, oh, listening to Easter hymns while I was doing this, and I was really getting excited. But this particular image was really a fun one to create because the photo of the hand is on LDS Media. Then the blossoms it was another photo, and in RD Magic you can merge them together so you get kind of that look. I didn't have to do anything except for tap one little button and it did that. Then I typed in the text, and Christ in gold is actually a pre-made design in Rana Designs that says Christmas, and I just erased that part, so I just had the Christ, just to add something a little bit different. So, are you getting excited to learn all this stuff? It's going to be so great, isn't it? Nothing to be scared of, don't worry. Okay, here's another one that I want to show you, a blur effect. When you find images, sometimes it's hard to, like in LDS Media Library, they have lots of good images, but you want it just to be kind of a subtle background, not necessarily focusing on the photo itself. So a way to do that is you can blur the background, and I'll show you how to do that, and then add the type and the text and a frame around it. And so you're still utilizing the great library that they give us on LDS Media Library, but you're also adding a little fun twist that's your own. So just some different ideas. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to create today, okay? This just says, never forget the sweet miracle of Easter. And then down at the bottom, he is risen. Of course, hashtag because he lives. This one has lots of different techniques on it that we're going to learn right now. And with the techniques that you're learning, you'll be able to take those into creating whatever else you want, okay? Remember, you've got step-by-step on your handout. You'll also be able to watch me over and over again. How fun for you to watch me over and over again. But, I mean, you'll be able to go back and rewind and all that stuff. So we're going to go through it. No reason to stress, but let's just learn and have fun, okay? So everyone relax. Take your shoulders and just get all relaxed and stuff, and we are going to have fun. So the first step that we want to do is we want to access that photo. We want to get that photo on our phone. So, taking you back to intermediate and beginning, right? That's okay, Darla. It happens all the time. So we want to get the photo of the Easter lilies off of LDS.org. So your first thing you're going to do is go into your Safari, okay, and I'm going to take my phone, I'm going to do it as well, and you're going to go to LDS.org. Now remember, it looks a little bit different when you are on your device than it does when you're on your laptop or your desktop, whatever. So you're just going to go scroll down until you can find Media Library. And I think it's down, let's see, quick links. No, it's under
Inspiring Messages.
There we go, Inspiring Messages. And you're going to find Media Library. And it might look different even on your device. It seems like sometimes when I get on, it'll look differently just the way I'm holding my phone. So just try to find that. Media Library, you're going to tap on that. And remember, this is the archive that has all of the videos and all of the images and audio, just so many great things that we have access to. And when you scroll down, you're going to see that top header that says Home. Let's see. Home, Video, Audio, Images, Social. We want to tap on the images so that we can access that photo. So tap on your images. And they changed this slider out a lot. It's very different. So if it doesn't look like what it did last time, don't worry, you're at the right place. Make sure that you're on images, you're in library. And they always have these image categories right here. That part doesn't change, okay? So you're going to scroll down to Easter. So find Easter. I'll make that a little bit bigger so that you can see. Easter's right there. And this is where you're going to go in and tap into all the Easter images that we have. So you're going to go down. And if I remember correctly, I say that the Easter lily is on page 2. So we're going to go down to page 2 or go to next. Tap next. And I believe the Easter lily is the very last one. So scroll down. And yep, there it is right there. Okay. So do you guys remember how to do this? When you want to access an image from Media Library, you tap on the image. And then this black box comes up. And this is where you're going to be able to, remember, if you wanted to just share this just the way it was with your testimony or something, here are the little quick links to Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. But if you want to save it onto your device, you will tap here. Now, I tapped tablet because I wanted it to be a little bit higher resolution. All of these just mean that they're different resolutions, okay? You can save any of these on your phone, and your phone could probably handle it. But let's just tap tablet so that we have a good resolution for this, okay? So I'm going to go in here and tap. Now remember, for Android devices, it automatically saves. When you save that, it goes right onto your device. For iPhones or iPads, you need to go to this little box with the arrow, and you're going to have this box come up. And I have to turn it this way now to show you. And then you want to save image right here, okay? So that means that you're going to save it, and now it's on your device, okay? So that was our first step. We got the photo. Now, you could have taken a photo. All of you that are taking photos, I mean, the blossoms that are outside, the beauty that's around us. We live in such a beautiful place. Go out and take your own photos. You don't have to use the media library, but I just wanted to let you know that it is there. So be thinking of what you can do, okay? So now I want to make sure I'm going to go into my photos at the very top, and I want to make sure it's there. Yep, there it is, so I know it's there. Now I know that I'll be able to access it from any of my apps that I'm going to use. So right now we're going to put a filter on the app. This is where, if you already have photo editing apps that put filters on it, then go ahead and use that. I'm going to show you RD Magic. And for those of you that emailed me and got the codes, you already have those downloaded. If you want, I brought more codes. It can only be used for one account. So if you know people that you want to share it with, go ahead and feel free to take extras. And get that on your phone. Go ahead and grab it. And I'm going to take you through redeeming it right now too, okay, so that you remember. And I'm sorry, they are not for Android. It's not a, like I said, Android doesn't share with us. Although this app isn't even out for Android yet, so. So these, like I said, these can be used, like if you have an iTunes account and you get this on your account and different members of your family use that same account, you can still be using it. But it is just one, like then you couldn't pass the paper to somebody else because it's just for one account, okay? So feel free to take as many as you'd like. Okay, are we ready? Now we're going to go in and redeem that code. And if those of you that already have RD Magic, go ahead and open that up. But in order to redeem the code, you're going to go up to your App Store. So find this icon right here, and you're going to go into the App Store. And usually by default, it'll go straight to the featured, and that's what you want. You want to make sure that you're on the star or the featured, and you're going to scroll all the way down until you see the word redeem. And that's where you're going to redeem it. Okay, so tap on redeem. And then you've got to sign in. And signing in. And signing in.
Everybody's doing it at once.
Okay, there we go. Now this right here, if you had, you know how when you get the little iTunes cards, you can actually use your camera and scan it right there. But we're going to enter our code manually. So go ahead and tap on that, enter your code manually. And this is where that little, all those letters and numbers and stuff, you've got to type that in. I know, not very fun, but that's where you will type it in, and then you'll hit return, and then it will automatically take you to RD Magic and start installing. Okay, I can't show you that on mine because I've already got it on there, but that's how you redeem the codes when you get those. Okay? So So go ahead and do that, and now we're going to open it up into RD Magic. And this is what you'll look for right here. Little green one with the little top hat. We're going to do lots of magic to our photos now. So we're going to access that photo that's on our camera roll, and the way to do that is on the very left, that little stack of photos is where you're going to tap. And there it is. And sometimes it depends on what your phone looks like, but it should be the most recent one that you can find. And I'm going to tap that so that it opens it up. Now you'll notice that this is the it's the landscape format from Media Library. You can take your finger now and you can make it bigger. You can move it around. You can crop it into a square. You can do all sorts of things right here in the crop step. I'm going to keep it, I would like to have it be a square, so I'm going to do a square, and I want to move it over so that I see a lot of those lilies. I like that. So when you're happy with it, then you're going to tap the very top where it says crop, and now you're ready to start adding the magic, okay? It is a little bit dark for me. I want to kind of have it a little bit lighter, so I'm going to add some filters on it to just bring out a little bit of the photo, okay? So to do that, you're going to tap on Add Layer. And then this whole toolbox opens up where you've got, you can make adjustments to the photos, you can add filters. Candy is a candy filter that is kind of hot in photography right now that's really fun. You can do different color. Bokeh, does anyone know what that is? Photographers, do you guys know? It's those little light bubbles that when something's out of focus, it just adds a really cool effect. We're going to add that. Light leaks are it cracks me up because remember back in the day when we had our photos, in the film in our camera, and if it got exposed, part of the film would have a little bit of a streak. Well, now we want that, and so isn't that hilarious? So now there are filters that you want that retro vintage look. Cracks me up. I'm like, I remember the days when that was like oh no, it got exposed, but now we want that. And then there's also, you can do different edges, the blur that I did before that I'll show you as well, textures, and then this one, My Magic, is the fun one where you can take another photo and put it on to this photo, and we'll do that a little bit later. So this is just your tool drawer that we're opening up. And I want to open it up to adjustments because I want to make it just a little bit lighter. So tap on adjustments, and then you'll scroll down to the bottom, and you'll be able to lighten it, darken, contrast, saturate, desaturate, warm, and cool. All those different things just to one photo. And I want to lighten this just up a little tiny bit. So I'm going to tap on that filter, and do you see how that lightened up the background? I like it right there, but I want the background to be a little bit lighter, but not the lilies. So I'm going to tap the X because that means that I just applied that filter. But now I'm going to add another filter on. So again, tap the little plus. I'm going to go into adjustments again, and I want to lighten it again. So I like how light the background is, but I want contrast there. So I'm going to erase that part to bring back the layer on the bottom. Okay, that little guy right there is my best friend. I love the eraser tool. It's so much fun. I'm going to tap on that eraser, and then it brings up a whole new toolbox. And this is something, that little arrow will be so that if you do something, you go, oh, I didn't want to do that. You can always go back a step. It's never in concrete, remember. This right here are the little adjusters where you can go in and you can adjust with the slider, the brush softness. Oops, here we go. See how that just adjusts? And then the size down here. And I want it to be, the softness means that it's not going to be so harsh and it'll have a little bit of a blur around the edges. And that's probably about what I want. So I'm going to tap my finger on the corner of the photo just so that I can access back on the photo. And now the erase tool right there is highlighted, so I know that that's what the tool that I want. And with my finger, I'm going to just go in and just erase around there just a teeny bit so that I have a little more contrast and detail in those flowers. Okay? Now that right there, I got a little too much. I don't even know if you can tell back there. But if I wanted to ever put any back on, draw it back on, I can toggle back to the pencil, and I can go back in and I can, let's make sure that it's about where I want it to be. So I'm going to go in, and now watch this. Like, let's say, okay, I really want to get detailed. Like for that Easter, that little Easter egg that we had, and we had the word, I used this technique as well, but I had to be really, really careful on those edges because I wanted to be able to show the egg and make it look like the word was in the back. So with my fingers, I'm going to stretch this so that I can get really close, and I'm going to move it around, and then I can go in there and draw back. Do you see what's happening now? And I could get really, really close. I don't want it to be like that much. I want it to still have a little bit more of a race, so I'm just going to go in again. Nope, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to make it a little bit, adjusting the brush size, and go back in, and I'm just going to kind of blend the edges, just kind of like that. So you still have it, but it has a little bit of a, just play. This is the part where you just kind of play. You tap your X, and you go, okay, I can see those. I'm going to be putting words here. This is how light I want it. This looks good. I'm happy with this. So I'm going to tap the X. Now, again, these sliders, whenever you see a slider like this, that means go ahead and play. Have lots of fun with that because you're able to adjust the different filters and things like that. But I'm done. I know that I'm done, and so I'm going to say tap the X. And so now I want to show you what happens here. When you tap on options right here, you're starting to build layers on your photo. And here's the original photo that we got from the background, from our camera roll. Then we added a layer here, we added another layer, and if as you're going along you go, oh, you know what, I didn't want to do that. Or let's see what it looks like without that. That little eyeball right there, if I were to tap that, it takes off, it's still there if I want to put it back on, but it takes it off so I'm reminded what it looked like with that one right there. If I say, you know what, I just plain don't want that layer, you can always go in and delete it, but it needs to be highlighted. Okay, so how many of you have ever used Photoshop? Okay, this is a lot. I mean, basically, with this and Rana Designs in your hand, you've got a little Photoshop. It's pretty crazy, the things that you can do on your phone and not spend the $800 on Photoshop. So $1.99, yes, I know, that is a little bit crazy to ask, isn't it? Just kidding. But really, I'm just amazed at the things that you can do with your phones now. It's just so great. So let's go back. Now, I just want to show you that that's where things are going. I'm going to tap on the photo again because now I want to add those little light leaks that I was telling you about. I'm going to tap on Add Layer, and then that opens our tool drawer that we've got. And I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go to Light Leaks. It's just right here. And this will add, I just want to show you the different things. As you go through here, it'll show you what your photo is going to look like. Okay? So like this one right here just adds a little bit of a rainbow right there. And I think that looks really cool. I like that. If I wanted to get a different effect, this little toggle button gives it a darker look. And again, you've got the little slider. So if you go, oh, I don't want that much rainbow there. I want just a little bit like that. You could adjust it as well. Okay? So the way to learn on these things is to play. Just play, 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 and when you see buttons, you just start tapping and sliding and playing, and it just becomes a little masterpiece that you are creating. It's so much fun. So I'm going to tap the X again, because remember, whenever you see the X, that means I'm done, I want to get out, I'm ready to go someplace else. Now let's add the bokeh, or the little light bubbles, and that's another Add Layer. And that one says right there. And bokeh is a photography term. It's actually, now I can't remember the actual definition, but it is just a really cool effect that shows, like when I put it on there, do you see what that does? It just adds a little bit of a sparkle. And you know, I like sparkle, so I like to add sparkly things. But with this, you can, with my finger, you can turn it. See how I'm doing that? You can make it smaller. You can make it bigger just by spreading, pinching, all that stuff. You can also, if like, for instance, you've got this and you want it over here on the lilies, but not quite as dark. You could go in with your slider, and you can adjust that to make it a little bit lighter. And you've got that right there. I know that I do want it on the bottom, so I'm going to turn it again with my fingers, and I'm going to make it about right there. And the eraser tool is there too, so that means if you only want one bubble or two bubbles or something like that, you can always erase. You can do that same thing, okay? So this is the photo now that I'm going to put the, what was it called? Now I can't remember what we said. Never forget the sweet miracle of Easter, okay? But now we need to toggle over to Rana Designs to get the, to access the fonts. So tap that little X because you're really happy with it. If you wanted to use this as a base for other things, you could go ahead and on the options at the very bottom, you could share it, which means save it. It'll give you the option. You can save it. Remember, always, like let's say you wanted to use this as a card for somebody and you wanted to put a text on it later on. You're like, I really like the way that worked. You want to be able to use it again and again. Save it. Now, notice it says original is 682 by 682. That's because this photo that we've saved was on tablet mode or tablet dimension. If you saved one of the ones that was print, that's higher resolution, and so then you would be able to have a higher, you'd be able to save it higher if you wanted to print it. Okay, so just remember those things as you're saving it. So I'm going to save it so that it's on my camera roll. Save image, or you could email it, you could tweet it right then.
Did you choose original or did you choose one of those?
I chose original because it was a higher number. I always choose the highest that it will let me have just in case I want to print or make a sticker of it or, I mean, you never know what you're going to do later on. But now, I know that I saved that just the way it was, but now I want to add some text to it. So, I'm going to go to options again. And see that little balloon right there that says open in? This is going to toggle over to Rana Designs. And what this does is all these layers right here, it's going to remember those layers. You're going to add text to it and then bring it back in, and then it recognizes those layers too. So again, like I said, Photoshop, all right here at your fingertips. It's pretty crazy. So open in, and now it says, gives you the option, go ahead and tap on Rana Designs. And now it just automatically brings it over, and there it is. Okay, so now you're able to start adding all the text and stuff. Okay, so I want to remember where these are all. You're going to go into your, what's that called? Starburst. And you're going to want to access a design right now. The design that you want to access is in InstaSmash. So go ahead and, go ahead and tap on that. If you know the name of it, I'm going to show you a little tip right here. Hit browse right up there. And then it gives you, you can see all of the designs and you can scroll through. But if you know the name, those little lines, remember whenever we see lines, that means there's more. You're going to tap on that. And then it has all the names of the ones that you've got. And I know that it's called Smash. So it's going to be all the way down the S's. So I'm going to go down. Do you see how many designs? It's crazy. Okay, smash, smash, smash. There it is. Okay, we're going to hit smash. Okay, then you can tap over here and you can see everything that is in that design pack. The words that I want for now is this right here that says never forget. Okay, so tap on never forget. And it brings it up right here. Tap on that again so that you can access it. And then this is where, remember, you take your finger on that little dot and you can stretch it, you can turn it, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to add it right up there, never forget. And because this is a light background, and I just want it to be kind of a little bit of just a sweet, I don't want it to be too harsh, I want it to be a little bit light and airy and feeling and stuff. But I do want to make sure that you can see this. I want to add a shadow on this. So again, the little lines open our toolbox drawer, and we're going to open that up and scroll down to shadow. Oops, not. Okay, you guys, do you want to know something? In the last 12 weeks, okay, and I don't know if this should be videoed. In the last 12 weeks, my eyes have gotten worse, and I start doing this, and I'm like, oh no, I knew it was bound to happen, but let me tell you, it's happening, and I'm about to, because really, at the beginning of this class, I could see fine. Now I'm like, what is that? So, welcome to the world of 47-year-olds. All of you are all going, oh, boo-hoo-hoo, right? Okay, so we are going to look at shadow. That's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a shadow right here on this very top slider. See how that just gives it a little bit more definition, and you'll be able to read it a little bit more. So this is what I want to do there. I'm not a numbers person, but some people are like, I want exactly 45% or something like that. I just slide it till I like it. But go ahead and play and have fun. Okay, so now I want to add, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but a lot of fun, okay? Remember, tricky is fun, so don't get freaked out. We're going to add the word the to it, but it's a design that's already pre-made, so Whenever I want to add something new, I go to the plus sign at the very top left. I need to find the one that, I know it's in here and I'm going to help you with this too. It's in Insta Chalk. So again, go to that browse right there. Go to the little lines again and go down to Chalk. And it's just right there. Not Chalk Art, but it's called Chalk. And tap over here so you can access, you can see what those are. And there are 4 different thes that you can use. I think I chose on this one, I can't remember which one. I think I chose this one right here, this the. So choose whatever the you want. Just fun to have some different ones that are a little different. Here's the, and again, I'm going to set it over here. Oops. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I do want to have a shadow on it again, so I'd go up to the 3 lines and go down to my shadow. And there was a little tip and trick that I should have showed you right then, but I didn't. I'll show you next time when we do it. Okay, so right now we've got never forget the. Now, I like the way in one of the pre-made designs the word sweet looks, but it has other words on the design too that I don't want, so I'm going to erase part of that. So I'm going to add, I've got to go find that, so it's the add again. And if I remember correctly, this one is in Insta Smash again. So go ahead and browse.
Lana, how did you pull up the lines down below?
These down here,
Yeah.
that's shadow. So whatever, it's on this toolbox over here, if you want to find that, that's where you'll find shadow. And then it just kind of stays there. You can still access the plus and the back and everything. But if you are done and you want to get out of that, you can always press done. Okay, so we are going to, what did I say? We're going to go and get Insta Smash again. So we're going to browse and go to those 3 lines on the top and go down to Smash all the way down. And we're going to find the wording that says, where is it? It says, that's sweet. But you see how that little design right there, the sweet, is a little bit different than if I were to just type it. That's why I wanted to use it. Okay, do you see that? So I know this looks weird right now, so don't freak out, but I want to position sweet where I want it because we're going to go in and erase the that's part. Okay? So, this is the fun part, you guys. This is so awesome. You're going to hit done now. And I know you're thinking, it's not done. You can't even see that. It looks crazy. Remember layers. We're in layers right now. So we're going to open our little toolbox, tool drawers up there. And we're going to open in. This is where we're going to toggle back into RD Magic. Okay? And it's going to pack your project and take you back over to RD Magic. And do you see that? That's everything that you just did. And if we hit the options, there are all of our layers. The layers that we added are there. And so if we want to erase that sweet, we've got to make sure that it is highlighted with the orange box, and it is. Then you're going to tap the photo. Okay, so you know you're on that layer. Tap it again, and this is where you're going to access your eraser. So tap the eraser. You've got your little toolbox that's up here, and now this is the part where you're just going to take your finger and you're going to erase. Now, the last time we used the erase tool, we kind of adjusted the softness and everything. This time, because we're going to get really close to words, we want it to be small and we want it to be at hard edge. So I'm going to take my finger and go all the way to the hard edge and then go all the way to the very, very smallest on the bottom so that I have a really small eraser that I'm going to use. So in order to get off that box, you just tap the corner of your photo. And now this is where you're going to blow it up with your finger, and you're going to kind of bring it like this. And you're going to take your finger and just start erasing that part. Now do you see on the very top left where it gives you that little box? That's so that you can look and see, like when you get close, like right there, do you see that E? I do not want to erase the E part, so I've got to go really, really close and tight in there, and just take all the time you need. Don't talk and do it at the same time because it's really hard. Okay, and then that was the scary part, so I'm gonna open it up right here. Not scary, that was the tricky part. And just with your finger, just erase it all off. And then squish it back, make sure you got everything, I missed something. And there you go. So now you have never forget the sweet, okay? So.
Rhonda, there's something underneath the.
Oh, you're right, thank you very much. See, my eyes didn't catch that.
I didn't know if it was part of it.
Nope, you're absolutely right, thank you. And it is hard, sometimes I'll go back and be like, oh, I didn't, but if you toggle back and forth, you can always go back and get on that layer. So until you save it and you're done, you can keep working on it. Although I do have to give a warning, sometimes you get so excited and it's so much fun and everything, you have so many layers that it's not a desktop computer, and so sometimes it just bogs it down. So sometimes I'll put like, tons of layers and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not in Photoshop.
Okay, so if I drop down a little bit too far, can I put it back in again?
Yes, exactly. And if you want to do that, like if you made a mistake, you would go ahead and tap your eraser and access your pencil. And then go back in there and just the same thing that you did, put it back in. So what this is doing is this is actually making kind of a mask, because later on you'll see, like for instance, watch what happens. When I get out of this, remember, whenever you see an X, you're getting out of it.
That's sweet.
Again, I want to say X again here. I want to go over and show you something in the layer, so I'm hitting options. That layer right there, you can see the top part that I erased. Basically imagine that it was just, the only word I can use is masked. It was masked over. So it's still there, you just can't see it. So if you want to move it over, you'll start seeing the other pieces again. So you really have to be careful with and make sure that you've got it positioned where you want. And again, if you go, oh, I messed that up, you can always delete that and do it over again, that one little layer. So we're going to go back in and continue adding the rest of the text. So we want to open it up and go into Rana Designs. So open back in. See, we're just having lots of fun playing with different tools that you've got. But remember these techniques because you can use them in all the other things that you're going to want to do. Okay, so this part right here is, let's see, we already erased, we already did that. Okay, now we want to add text on there that is not pre-made. We want to actually type things, okay? We want to write the word miracle. Now, because I want this to look like it kind of goes together, I'm going to select the font that is pretty close to the Never Forget. So I'm going to hit my T to access my fonts. And this very first one, Rana's Faves, the default is that very font. So we're good to go on that one. We can double tap to write the word miracle. And this brings up your keyboard. So you just write the word text or type the word miracle. It is an all caps font. So you don't have to worry about anything right there. Then you're going to hit your X to release the keyboard. And then kind of stretch it out with your finger, move it over. And I need to say the sweet miracle. I want it to come over a little bit right there. Okay. Now notice it gets a little bit lost in that lighter area. So this is again where you would want to put the shadow. So the three lines, you would go down to access your tool of shadow. That top one, just do it to about where it has some contrast from the background right there, okay? So never forget the sweet miracle. I'm trying to think of what to do. I'm going to take you a little bit, it's a little bit different than this just because I want to show you how to do this. Let's say you're kind of sick of every single layer putting the shadow on. When you tap plus, you can see this right here, duplicate, which means you're going to duplicate not only the word itself, but also that drop shadow. So if I hit duplicate, oops, there, that exact thing was duplicated, and all I would have to do is double tap and backspace and write Easter. So it's got the same exact drop shadow, and I didn't have to go in there. That's just a little tip and trick. It's not anything that you have to do. You could still go back and follow all the directions and stuff, but I know that I want this down here because I'm going to put of in between. So let's say I put it about right there. Okay? Never forget the sweet miracle Easter, the need of. So tap X to get out of that. Remember, whenever you see the gold color or the yellow color, you're still in the type or the font process. So hit done to get out of that. Because now we're going to put the word of. You could type it in if you want, but in that same Instachalk, there is already a little swirl with of, so we're going to use that. But again, let's use that same tip that we did. Tap on never forget so that the box is around it. You've got that drop shadow. So I'm going to go in and say plus duplicate. Oh, no. Oh, isn't that interesting? It actually had highlighted that suite, so it gave me that. So tap back. I don't like that. I want to go back and make sure I'm on. There we go. When the little bracket is around it, you know what layer you're on. So that's the one that I want to duplicate. There we go. And then I'm going to, I know that it's in Instachalk, so I'm going to go scroll to the left. Is that, yeah, no, to the right. Scroll to the right. Go up to browse. The little lines again. See how we're doing a lot of the same steps so that as you do this and as you practice, you'll be able to do it faster and quicker. So you're going to find chalk. Tap on that. There's the little of that we want. See that guy right there? You're going to tap on him, and there he is, of. Now because we duplicated it with the shadow, and when you tap on of, it'll be that same contrast. So I want to resize it with my finger. I'm going to go down. I'm going to say of. I want it to kind of hover that right there. Because I like where it is right there, but I want to move Easter down. So all I have to do is tap on Easter, and then now it's in its brackets, and now you can move it a little bit down. Okay? So that right there, you guys just did, that was very advanced. So those of you that stuck with it, awesome job. Those of you that just watched, go home and have fun with this, okay? Now this is the part where at the very end, on the original one, I had over here, he is risen, and then hashtag because he lives. This is where, again, you can also do this. If you want to put it on your actual photo, you would go ahead and add plus. And I usually, it depends on what you want to do, but usually hashtags, I'll make it in more of a subtle font so that it's not so, you know, it doesn't overpower the word art design, but that it's still there. So one of my favorite fonts for that is in Rana's Faves, and it's the second one over, just a really light font. In fact, so light that you can hardly even see it sometimes. So when I bring it down, if I want to add it a darker color, remember you can always add different colors of text. With this whole thing, you scroll over, you've got lots of options.
Which font were you on the bottom?
I'm on it's Rana's Fave, the very first one, and then it's just this light one, yeah. And so I'm going to double tap, and I'm going to do a hashtag. Because he lives. And that I can, again, get out of the X to release the keyboard, squish it down, and you can put it at the very bottom right there. So, these are not the words that you have to use. I just wanted to show you the different things. Be thinking of what you can share. Be thinking of the things that are coming to your mind that you can share with whoever you want. And sometimes when you share, you don't even know that you're sharing them with other people. That's the miracle of technology and social media. It's amazing. Okay, so hit done. You guys did it. That's so awesome. You just did something that took a lot more than 5 steps. I recognize that. But you used a lot of different techniques and tips that you can share with others or continue doing yourself. Now remember, if you want to save this, which you do, right, after all that work, little drop-down box where you get to see some of the other fun things. Go ahead and share. And this will give you the option 2048. So that's about an 8, well, like a little over 7.5 inches. So if you wanted to print that, that's pretty big. That's awesome. If you wanted to, I would still save it as your highest resolution, because even if you wanted to size it down, you don't lose the resolution. When you size up is when you lose resolution, and it gets blurry and pixelated. Okay, save your image, and voila. Pat on the back, guys. That is awesome. A lot of you, I see smiles on your face. A lot of you are going, holy cow. Remember, again, steps are in here. You can go ahead and watch the video over and over again. And I think the fun thing is when you're doing it, share with people what you're learning and show people, because when you teach, I promise, you start learning more and more. So don't get scared, just do it. You're awesome. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up with this quote right here, and then I'm going to show you something at the very end as we go through. Okay. Okay, this is what I wanted to say right here. Okay. I experimented with different sizes today, except for besides squares. It's a little different. So, okay. This one was, again, something that I used filters. I'm going to show you in just a minute. But this one is just believe in yourself. You can share your light. I hope that this does not feel too heavy, like I can't do it. I hope each one of you thinks, I can do just one of those steps I can learn. I can learn how to erase, or I can learn how to put a filter on. You can do it. But your light is what's important for you sharing it. I want to end with this quote from Sister Uchtdorf that to me, I just love it. Talk about a punch in the, not a punch in the gut, because we don't want that, just a punch of enthusiasm. How's that? Okay, you are vibrant and enthusiastic beacons in an ever-darkening world as you show through the way you live your lives that the gospel is a joyful message. So remember, that's our goal. When you, during LDS conference and during Easter and while you're sharing your images and stuff, pray that the joy that you feel living the gospel comes out, because I promise you it does. I know it sounds crazy, but someone in Russia, someone in Indonesia, someone in Singapore, wherever they are, they will be able to feel it. And that is the miracle of technology. Heavenly Father blesses everybody around the world with technology. So when you think my little light isn't going to make a difference, that's not true. That's Satan. Flick him off your shoulder. Listen to the good angel, shoulder angel, and listen to the Spirit when you feel prompted to share with somebody. Even if you think, but I don't know who this is going to help. If you feel prompted, go with it. Because there's some granddaughter or some niece or some neighbor or some young woman or someone that needs to hear it, maybe even a stranger. I know this is true. I've seen it in my life, and I know that technology is divine because Heavenly Father needs us to spread His word. And you can do it. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.